is in elite company in the Dallas Cowboy record books. He is on top of Dorsett, Hill, and Smith in that category. And that's tremendous, the first 20 ball games.
Of course, this is his 21st, so that doesn't even include where he is now.
And just remember, the Rams, they knew what we have to do is stop the running game. And that running game would be Julius Jones. And that's something they've done except for one play.
Just 7 yards from 1,000 yards.
And that'll be very important to him and very important to his offensive line. Pressure coming on Bledsoe. Sidearms. A perfect strike to Terry Glenn. What a pretty throw.
Boy, you talked about this in the first quarter about Bledsoe buying time. And he buys time on this play here. Here goes Glenn to the outside. Look at the perfect throw. This is the perfect throw. But when you look where that ball is placed, there's just no chance for anyone to get to it. Fury didn't have a chance.
And Terry Glenn, matched up with a first-year safety who has always been a wide receiver, is not much of a matchup for the Rams.
Drew just hasn't had time to get him the ball.
Bledsoe has time now and overthrows.
Intentional grounding.
Man, you know, have to consider it.
You're not going to leave him alone, are you?
That's the last thing I want to say about it. It was so ridiculous. Now, Drew Bledsoe, he throws this. Anytime you overthrow people, you just don't want to throw the interception. And this is smart quarterbacking. You just don't want to give up the big momentum that you've established and the opportunity to put points on the board. And Terry Glenn is their home run hitter. Now you think about Keyshawn Johnson and Jason Witten picking up yards for first down.
Four-man rush. Bledsoe overthrows again. This was intended for Keyshawn. Corey Ivy, who has had a heck of a night, was in coverage, and then Furry came over to double team.
I'll tell you, Furry is just reading the quarterback's eyes. That's the second time in a row you've seen Furry just end up where the ball is. Now there's outstanding. Corey Ivy is covering Keyshawn. Well, look who comes in front. Number 25.
Corey Ivy is another one. Leonard Little has jumped out. Corey Ivy has made some great tackles in the open field, and he's been very physical with these wide receivers.
Keyshawn, just shut up and get in the huddle.
Third down, they need to reach the 19 for a first. Pressure coming. Bledsoe airs another one out. Glenn double teamed, incomplete. Furry was back there along with DeJuan Gross.
Terry Glenn is not going to have an opportunity to go up and get the ball like he normally would because of a dislocated right thumb. Goes up, tries. You see him try and make the play, really hits his thumb, just can't get his hands on the ball. He says he tries to protect it with his other one and can't quite make the play.
Boy, good job by Furry, though.
Furry showed you why he was a receiver.
Yeah.
he timed that ball perfectly and went up with Glenn.
So they'll go for the field goal,
which has been Bill Parcells' worst nightmare this year.
And Swisham misses, although this was from 47 yards. The other guys, if he ended up cutting it, missed chip shots.
المركز الرياضي برنامج يحجز لكم تذكرة شبه يومية إلى المحافل الدولية. بوابة للحوار حول الأحداث والقضايا الرياضية. خدمة إخبارية متميزة تضعكم دائما في الصفوف الأمامية. المركز الرياضي يبث من الاثنين إلى الجمعة مباشرة على الرياضية.
Back to Dallas, where the Cowboys find themselves on the short end of a 17-10 score against the Rams. The Rams trying to win their 6th ball game. The Cowboys trying to win their 10th, and they would be among only a handful of teams to go 10-6 under the new format and not make the playoffs. Arlen Harris gets a couple. Mark Bulger, of course, has not been playing because of a bad shoulder. He was already hurting in Week 11 when the Cardinals' Adrian Wilson came on a blitz and knocked him out of the ball game. The Rams held out hopes that Bulger's shoulder would heal, but a month later they were forced to put him on injured reserve. The young man who made quite a statement a couple of years ago and ended up being the most valuable player in the Pro Bowl. And this year, before he was hurt, was number 5 in passer rating in the NFL as Jamie Martin goes down, and number 2 in the NFC.
Had a chance to talk to Mark Bolger down on the field. First of all, Mike, he's rooting like you are for West Virginia.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing is, he said there's no surgery that's going to be required.
Good.
The shoulder only needs some rest. He said it's not as bad as it initially was. He felt like he came back a little bit too early, and went down to see Dr. Andrews, and they feel very optimistic about it. He said he's probably going to start throwing in a couple of weeks just to loosen it up, just to get the arm going again. So his prospects are very good. The question is, what kind of an offense is he going to play in, and who's going to be calling the plays next year?
Well, he is just a terrific guy. We all wish him the best. Here's the draw play that will take it up to the 46-yard line. Cowboys want a penalty of some kind. They're out there lobbying for it. Aaron Glenn was very upset.
Avion Cason has shown burst. Once he gets in the open field, he really takes off and goes. I know the Rams went and drafted Trung Candidate, looking for someone to complement Marshall Faulk. Of course, Steven Jackson was sat down. He's been their big back, got over 1,000 yards. But Avion Cason has got that little burst. Once he gets through the line, he can get up the field in a hurry.
They were thinking about going for it. It's about 1 yard and maybe 1.5 yards. But when you think about how well the defense has been playing against Dallas, put him back out there.
Beautiful kick by Barker. And takes a bounce out of bounds near the 20-yard line. 33-yard kick. The Cowboys will take over at their 19.
المركز الرياضي، برنامج يحجز لكم تذكرة شبه يومية إلى المحافل الدولية، بوابة للحوار حول الأحداث والقضايا الرياضية، خدمة إخبارية متميزة تضعكم دائما في الصفوف الأمامية. المركز الرياضي يبث من الاثنين إلى الجمعة مباشرة على الرياضية.
For the record. That's so great. One of the real class acts in this game, accomplishing what he just did.
A standing ovation. Nobody deserves it more. What a privilege it has been for us to see some of the great players in the history of this game over the last 19 years.
It isn't just to watch them, Mike. It's to be able to sit down and get to know them as people. Emmitt Smith is the salt of the earth. One of the classiest men that's ever put on a Cowboy uniform. Been so incredible for this organization.
And for the most part, guys have been so giving of their time to us to do interviews and just sit down and try to see how they feel about this. Keyshawn. It's a great over-the-middle receiver. That time he ran a post. And Bledsoe hit him in stride for 34 yards.
Now, we talked about Torrey Holt with great hands. Keyshawn Johnson is another one of those guys. Watch when he comes across the middle. Look where he catches the ball. He just reaches up, snatches the ball, and then tucks it away. Here goes Keyshawn. Coming out, across the middle. He doesn't have great speed, but he has outstanding instincts and hands.
That's Ron Bartell, their rookie second-round pick out of Howard, trying to cover him.
So the Cowboys back in Rams territory at the 45. Bledsoe steps up in the pocket, tries to touch pass this time, and just misses Keyshawn.
It's almost like they got to the sideline when they were sitting down looking at the pictures and said, look, you know, Key's a guy who can get this thing started. He's an igniter. We need to find a way to get him the football, get the fans back in this game, because they're all still here.
You mean that's what Keyshawn was saying?
And, you know, and I think Drew feels the same. I mean, Keyshawn's a pretty astute guy. Yeah, he wants the ball all the time, but he also can do things with it. He can get an offense going again.
Maybe lobbying right there. 2nd and 10. Bledsoe again. Complete to Cooper. No! Oh, it looked like Cooper had made a great catch, scooping it off the AstroTurf.
Well, this was a pretty throw, and this would have been a magnificent catch.
And Bill Parcells is asking Cooper Did you catch it?
Well, you're going to see it right here. Does he catch it? The ball is in his hands. It's on the ground.
Nope,
no, he did not catch it.
Nice job of officiating there.
But I'll tell you what Leonard Little has done against the Dallas Cowboys. He has forced them to bring another guy up on the line of scrimmage and waste the tight end to block to help Petiti.
Boy, when Bill Parcells asks you if you made the catch, you better tell him the truth.
Leonard Little, you know, we're talking about all the things that he has done. Jason Witten is trying to block him a couple times. Jason Witten pushes him right into the ball carrier. Now Petiti's trying to block him. They just really don't. They don't. He goes down the line of scrimmage with the tight end and follows him all the way through. And this is the one where he hits Bledsoe's arm. Nothing happened. The ball falls short. But Leonard Little coming off of that edge, you just don't have a tackle. Petiti can't stay with him. So what's happening is you have to now waste the tight end like Witten to put him on there to help out.
And he is sort of that kind of guy. I mean, 8 years he's been in this league. He's 260. He's like a Jason Taylor. He's like a DeMarcus Ware with the Dallas Cowboys. You've got these ends that can put their hands down on the ground and really go after a quarterback. They also have the versatility to drop if they need to do. And that's why I think you're going to see teams sort of move more and more towards the 3-4 defenses.
It's been a very emotional year for him. His younger brother was shot to death, and he missed a couple of weeks taking care of the arrangements for that and trying to get through it. Bledsoe under pressure will throw. Keyshawn diving. Is it a catch or not? No. They'll rule he juggled it going out of bounds.
Well, watch him lay out for this. I mean, Drew is off a little bit tonight. We've seen some throws get away from him. Has the time, makes the throw. Keyshawn lays out. See, I'm not sure whether he has possession while he's inbounds. There he is now. His elbow hits out of bounds. That means that it's an incompletion.
They got to have control of the ball. He lost control of the ball. Don't boo. Oh, and Bill Parcells threw a flag. No, Bill. Go run out and pick it up.
Why not?
Why would you?
Well, Bill, see, here's the thing. Bill is on the sidelines, so he actually has a chance to see it, but of course he doesn't see it when he rolls over.
Dallas is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Just the fact that he challenged it has got the fans cheering.
He doesn't do this very often.
No, he says he doesn't. He's only done it twice, and when he does it, he knows exactly what's happening. Here's Keyshawn. He's stretching out. This would have been a marvelous catch, but the only problem is not from this angle, but that ball. Here it comes here. Now watch what happens when he hits the ground. You've got to have possession all the way through the play. Here's the ball. Watch the ball come out. The ball is out.
Bounces up, hits him in the face mask.
It's an incomplete pass. It's
he
a
got his
wonderful
knees
effort.
down inbounds, but you're
matter.
right. It's the control of the ball.
You have to have control of the football at all times and come up with it. He did not do that.
You're correct.
Yes, I know the rules. You know the rules, like I said earlier this year. You just don't like any of them.
Let's go to John Anderson. He's in the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. John?
Thank you, Mike. Hey, mess with the Vikings. Sometimes you get the horn. Minnesota head coach Mike Tice fired less than an hour after a season-ending win over the Bears. One more win than last season, but more off-field trouble. And former Ohio State running back Maurice Clarett wanted by police in Columbus. Held up two people in an alley behind a bar, allegedly flashed a gun, fled the scene after a bartender recognized him. SportsCenter coming up right after the game. ESPN News on right now.
Receiver came to the ground and the ball rolled out. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. Dallas will be charged with their second timeout.
And that is the right call. As we could tell on that replay, the ball did come loose. Keyshawn is complaining about it, but the tape don't lie.
No.
Well, he knows you have to have control over when you hit the ground.
And you wait. What happens is the worst part about that whole thing, they're losing by 7, and you waste the timeout.
McGuire will come on to punt. Exactly. And Furry will go down to the 10-yard line. Lets it go, and it takes a good bounce for the Cowboys. Rams get out of the way. It's down at the 14-yard line. A kick of 30. Check in with Susie.
Well, Mike, playoff positioning decided today, and for those less fortunate, the top of April's draft, the Texans lost to the Niners today, so they have that top pick at stake, likely a shot at USC running back Reggie Bush if he comes out early. So what will they get in Bush? The Heisman Trophy winner, the nation's leader in all-purpose yards, the nation's leader in yards per carry. The guy is ridiculously exciting and explosive. And the question is, just what could he add to a program like the Texans? Dominic Davis already there, guys. What do you think?
I don't know how you can pass Reggie Bush unless you trade him for a whole bunch of picks.
Well,
and they need a lot of help.
The Reggie Bush scenario is interesting to me. The Saints being at the #2 position becomes even a little bit more intriguing because Matt Leinart is there. Now, the Saints obviously aren't happy with Aaron Brooks, so you got to figure he's going to go on the market. They're going to be in the market for a quarterback. Does Matt Leinart basically pull an Eli Manning and say, look, you know what, I'm not sure I want to go there? Now you got the Titans at #3 with Steve McNair's health up in the air. There's another quarterback situation, and there aren't that many coming out. So those 5 picks, I think, could be very interesting come draft day on ESPN.
Avion Cason across the 20 to the 22.
Okay, we get another Herschel Walker trade. Okay,
Now, get out.
get Bush.
Ricky Williams, same thing.
Give Bush up and get a bunch of people that can play right now. At least 2 or 3 people that you know legitimately can play the game right now. It's gonna.
I'm
No,
listening.
you're putting your hand out. You want to talk. You're not getting in on this one. Okay, not right now. You're not. The thing about Bush is you're putting him with a team. You already have a running back over there. What can he possibly do for you? I don't see it. I think you've got to go out and get some players, some linemen, whatever you need. People are going to give it up to get Bush.
Cason again. And Avion Cason really showing you some speed. Paul, with analysis like that, you ought to read this sign.
What does it say?
Of all the analysts, you are one of them. That's one of Paul's favorite sayings. Of all the games we've ever done, this is one of them.
This is really one of them.
Somebody heard you and did a sign.
Love that.
You are one of them, too.
Yes,
You know what? I got to tell you, you're not one of them. You're one of a kind.
Did you
And
hear?
I've been so blessed to be with you for all these years.
You heard our producers.
I heard it.
We pay our support people well.
It's hard to position them in the stands sometimes.
Hard to get good help, though.
Hey, one thing's been impressive is the St. Louis Rams. They've been impressive on both sides of the ball tonight. This does not look like, this looks like a football team, and Joe Vitt talked about it when we had a chance to visit with them last night. This is a football team that hasn't figured out how to close out a game. Right now, they have a 7-point lead. If history holds true for them, I'm sorry, 4 minutes to go, Paul. Thank you very much. I can see your
No,
fingers.
but that's what Joe Vitt kept saying.
They get inside 4 minutes.
It's over. They lose.
It could be a problem. So this is where they really have to figure out how to close it out.
Double reverse. Holt cuts it back across the 40. They pick up 3 on the trick play. Ryan Fowler and Chris Canty were in on the tackle.
Did you see Jamie Martin? Did you see the block?
A
Jamie
little shoulder.
A little shoulder.
A little flipper.
He gave him a little shot.
Last time he got beat up when he tried to block. This time he threw a little bit.
Well, you know, if I'm a right-handed quarterback, I'm not using my right shoulder to block anybody.
Maybe the most impressive thing the Rams have done tonight is not turn the ball over. They had done that in 27 straight games.
Now here they're running inside of 3 minutes, the Rams are, and the Dallas Cowboys only have 1 timeout plus the 2 minutes.
And this has been somewhat of a typical Dallas Cowboy type of a football game because it's a crucial 3rd down. If they can stop them, they get the ball back. So many of their games, 9 of them this year, have been decided by 4 points or less. And I can't even count the amount have been decided inside the last 30 seconds.
Well, when you go back and you take a look at what happened to the Dallas Cowboys this season, I don't think you have to go to any other game than the first Redskins game, where for 56 minutes it was total domination, and in the last 4 minutes the Redskins hit them with 2 huge pass plays and beat them 14-13. And I think that was the most devastating loss they've had all year.
Seattle game was a huge game.
Yep.
Drew Bledsoe says if there's one ball that he would love to have back, it was in that football game. And I'll take you all the way back. I'll take you all the way back. You look at the games, 9 decided by 4 or fewer points, but the New York Giants having an opportunity to play an extra game in Giant Stadium.
Absolutely.
As much as they have struggled on the field, you wonder how that has affected the balance in the NFC East.
Huge play here in the ballgame. Blitz coming. The quick out and a miscommunication as Holt continued the pattern and Jamie Martin threw the quick out.
Not only that, it stops the clock, which is as valuable to the Cowboys as if they just ran it and ran 40 seconds off down towards the 2 minutes.
Exactly.
And you have to say to yourself, Drew Bledsoe has got to be in territory that's very comfortable to him, because he's been doing this all year, bringing his team back.
Been doing this his entire career. Newman is the deep man. Low line drive kick. Newman on the run. Boots it, picks it up. Oh. Just needed one more step to get to the outside. As it is, he only returns it 6 yards after a 36-yard kick. But plenty of time left.
We're talking a little bit about the NFC East. Of course, Bill Parcells, Joe Gibbs, the Giants 11-5, 4-2 in the division. Washington making a late surge, winning 5 games in a row, 2 critical ones against Dallas, the Giants, and of course beating Philadelphia. Philadelphia giving them a handful. Dallas waiting to see if they'll get their 10th victory or not. 3-3 in Philadelphia, a team that I think will be back next year and probably make this division equally as difficult when Donovan McNabb is healthy.
Bledsoe, can they protect him? The Rams have been all over him. Flag is down. The ball is tipped and incomplete, intended for Keyshawn. We'll check the flag. It's about 10 yards downfield.
Holding, defense, number 32. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Ron Bartell, the rookie out of Howard, and certainly for a kid who played at that level of competition, it's a big step up and an adjustment.
And we're talking to Joe Vitt again last night. I said, what part of your football team do you really need help on? He says, we need help in the secondary. Ron Bartell is a rookie. You've got Otagwe as a safety as a rookie. You've got Jerome Carter is a rookie. They've lost both their starting corners.
Little. Look at this.
Somehow Bledsoe got away and throws on the run and actually gets a completion to Witten. What a play by Bledsoe. Are you kidding?
You have no idea how good a play this was until you see this. Leonard Little, look at this. Patini just goes around. He pushes Drew Bledsoe. How did you get your composure? And then what a one-handed catch by Jason Witten. Look at this.
Jason Witten reaches back down behind him with his left hand and manages to flip the ball up to himself and then stay in bounds.
Remarkable on both ends of it.
He stays in bounds, and then he's out of bounds to stop the clock.
You'll see that one again at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I think so.
Bledsoe to the sideline. This one caught by Terry Glenn.
Another flag.
This might be interesting. I wonder if they're going to go offensive pass interference. I mean, we very seldom see a wide receiver get called for it.
You said never.
Well,
pass interference, offense, number 83.
He lied.
10-yard penalty.
Stand corrected.
Repeat, second down.
I stand corrected.
Terry Glenn. Watch this.
DeJuan Gross in coverage.
Now, you can't do that. You just can't push the guy out of the way. He has as much right to that as you do.
I wish I had a nickel for every receiver that uses that move that hasn't gotten called.
You'd be weighed down with nickels.
You're the only guy I know that only would want a nickel.
Not greedy.
Like a buck?
Not greedy.
Just have at least a buck.
My dad used to say that. Just a nickel.
Blitz. Cowboys protect Bledsoe, and then it's intercepted. Picked off by Otagwe. to the 20. Otagwe to the 10, the 5, down to the 2.
Boy, this young man, Otagwe, has had a game tonight. He's recovered a fumble. He's had a sack.
Now he has the interception.
Now he has the interception.
Got the trifecta.
He really does.
And Drew Bledsoe has just not been on target all night. I think a lot of it has to do with the pressure, and he's been hurried. At that time, Witten was nowhere near ready for the ball when he let it go. And as they try and bring him down, you'll see him try and grab him from behind to get the ball loose. But Jason Witten doesn't even get his head around, and Otagwe does.
And that pass was about 2 or 3 yards behind him.
Kurt Schottenheimer is the defensive backfield coach, and his guys have done one heck of a job tonight.
Well, you got to hand it to the Rams. They came in here with absolutely nothing to play for. Everything in disarray.
And Joe Vick got his guys to play hard.
Harris, nothing. And we will go to the 2-minute warning. Remember, the Cowboys only have 1 timeout remaining. And the Rams can solve this one away.
For the first time ever, the ESPN X Games head to the golden shores of Dubai. The world's most recognized ex-athletes take their bag of tricks to the Middle East. Have no fear of the X Factor. Catch all the top moments of this unique event. The ESPN X Games 2005, presented by Mountain Dew. Friday at the following times on Orbit ESPN.
Hope you'll stay tuned for SportsCenter. Stuart Scott and John Anderson will have all the stories for you, including the NFL playoff winners. Was it Brett Favre's final game and Boomer's top plays? You're going to have to send Brett a memo. You cannot retire. You're still too good, and you're too important to this league.
You're not allowed to go away yet.
You can take some time off, but then you got to come back.
We want you. We need you.
Yeah, you know, just sitting down all the years and talking to Favre, I don't know when we ever sat down with him in all the years that I've known him, and I've been doing this for a long time, that he ever talked about football. He talked about everything but.
Case on to the outside, dives to the 1, or check it, Arlen Harris dives to the 1-yard line.
Well, the Cowboys turned the ball over 3 times in the second half. Obviously, you know, Bill Parcells' analysis is going to be one where the Rams made some plays and his football team did not.
Well, you know what? You look at the Rams and how well they played tonight. It's got to be something when your best player, Torrey Holt, on your football team calls you out. And challenges you.
Everybody's looking at this film, Paul. Around the league, everybody's looking and seeing how hard you play, how badly you wanted it. And Torrey's going to have a smile on his face. Somebody will see in Hawaii at the Pro Bowl.
3rd and goal. Harris did not get in. Pushed back. They'll mark it at the 1, and the Cowboys will use their final timeout.
This is one of those deals where you really hit a wall.
Hey, listen, I want to take a minute. Michael, I want to thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
18 wonderful years of being a friend, a sounding board.
It's been an absolute
teaching me
joy
so much
for me,
about
Joe.
the game. And Paulie, there's anybody like you. I've been blessed to be able to sit next to you, privileged and honored to have
Joe,
this. And I want to thank both of you. And I'll be excited to watch this. I really
I just want to tell you that I mean this with all my heart. Of all the guys that I've ever worked with, you're one of them. And I mean that from the bottom of my bottom. You are one of them.
He can't go through it.
I got to do it once.
Is there another sign in here? There's got to be another one, because one's not sufficient for him.
We've done games and we've been honored to do doing games, but I've never enjoyed it as much as I have these last 8 years with you two guys. It's been a ball, man. I'm telling you.
You know, they say time flies when you're having fun. It's been a snap of a finger and a blink of an eye for us.
Wilkins for the field goal to presumably clinch it, and he does. I was also going to say that you know, we've received a lot of honors and we're very happy with that, but it's not the reason we do it. Although the Emmys do look good on the mantle, you can throw in another one of those. But I have said for 19 years on this telecast that it's great to have you with us at the beginning of the show, and I have meant it every time. And it's been a privilege for us to do these games and to come into people's homes. And the reaction we have had from everybody throughout 19 years has just been incredible. We want to thank you for everything.
One other thing, too. I want to thank Chris Berman and Tommy Jackson. I know Prime Time finished the live part of their show. We, as football fans, and that's what we are, we're just guys that absolutely love the game. And Susie, you know, the most incredible football fan and such a hard-working individual, and such a great job she does. We all sit and we all sort of wait to see what Boomer and Tommy are going to come up with. And it's been a privilege and it's been fun just to watch them entertain us and really change the shape of the way the players play on a field. Because of Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, players watch their games to see if they made it, they feel honored to have been a part of prime time.
And Joe, you're absolutely right. And it was a very difficult day for them because this was their last primetime show before our ball game, because that will change next year as well. Tyson Thompson drilled as he got back to the 25-yard line with only a minute left in the game.
The other thing, you know, you start talking, obviously Mike Tice is gone today. Dick Vermeil is going to retire from Kansas City. The Rams are going to be looking for a head coach. I don't believe the Cowboys are. Probably 7, 8 jobs going around. Who comes in and takes over the Rams? I mean, do you bring in a defensive guy like a Jim Bates out of Green Bay, or a Greg Williams, or a Tim Lewis from the Giants? Or do you find an offensive coach like, say, an Al Saunders, possibly, to come in that these guys are familiar with, that was here when Dick Vermeil was here? I mean, there are so many candidates out there.
Bledsoe in a desperate situation, grabbed again by Leonard Little from behind. And Little with a huge game tonight for that maligned St. Louis defense.
If I were Bledsoe, I would get Leonard Little on the phone and take him out to dinner and just say, you know,
we've spent so much time together. It's time to start dating.
We've been dancing all night long, so why don't we just go to dinner?
I don't know if he wants to go to dinner. He's been eating Drew's lunch all night long.
He's seen enough of him, huh?
Oh, man, I tell you, Leonard Little has had an evening that he's not going to forget.
Bill Parcells has seen one he wants to forget.
Bledsoe with that little skip throws to Keyshawn, and he gets out of bounds at the 46. So the only thing the Cowboys can do is try to get a score as quickly as possible and then hope for another onside kick and a miracle finish.
They have no more timeouts, and there's 49 seconds left.
Well, you know what? It's our last game. Why not? We've seen it. Well, why not have it happen? Why not have them come back and score 10 points in 49 seconds?
We have seen miracles.
We have. You're moving away again.
Paul's moving down toward me again.
Why not?
I've seen enough.
Bledsoe underneath this time to Barber, and the rookie will get out of bounds at the Rams' 45-yard line with 41 seconds to go.
Playoffs are here next week. You know, Washington at Tampa Bay. That was, we talked about it before, Mike. You know, that was sort of the coming out party of Chris Sims. That's when I think he really elevated and got John Gruden's confidence. And Mark Brunell made it through this game with the shaky knee. Made it through. The Redskins continue to do what they have done. Run the football, play pressure defense, and it'll be interesting going down to Tampa again and playing.
And Clinton Portis he went off one time. Did he go back into the game because they were looking at his shoulder? You just want to see the Redskins being healthy going in.
Well, it's a tough thing this time of year. And guess what, Paul?
Little.
Petiti saying, you know, don't put your hands up. Rob Petiti, number 79, put his hands up and saying, you know, can I have some help? Somebody help me, please.
Well, you know, it's like Bill Parcells did with Drew Bledsoe. I think he's doing the same thing to Petiti. You're staying out there. You're going to have to deal with it, and you're going to have to make plays.
This one is picked off. Another interception by the Rams, who have really done a great job tonight. Corey Ivy with the first interception of the year. And now any chance of a miracle is over. All the Rams will have to do is snap the ball and take a knee. What a job by Ivy. He's really shown as a backup corner.
You know what did a great job? Joe Bitt. I mean, what a job he did with this team. Here's a guy that was thrown in as the coach. And, I mean, didn't hold anything back with us when we sat down with him. This guy right here, Rob, I tell you what, son, it's been a long night for you. And you, congratulations, Joe Vitt.
Joe Vitt has overcome so much. Overcome cancer. Was out. First time I met him was over 20 years ago. Linebacker coach, Seattle, coached a lot of different places. He's got to feel finally gratified that something went his way and his guys played hard for him.
The final score here, the Rams 20, the Cowboys 10. Stay tuned for SportsCenter. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Colbert, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick saying good night from Texas Stadium. Thanks for a great 19 years, everyone.
الرياضية تقربنا منكم.